What's going on, everyone? Dip Consultant here. Hope everyone had a great Memorial weekend. And a real quick shout out to all those military personnel, men and women, for serving our country. Thank you, and um, God bless you for doing what you have done. So this Memorial weekend was a little gloomy for me because I just thought about this, and I know it's gonna sound like I'm ranting, but it's not a rant. It's more of a me feeling this way because I feel like not enough people do it in our generation. Right? This generation today is handed cell phones, iPads, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. You know, this generation is just basically all about technology. Back way when you had boys that were like 18 or 19 serving in the military that have men and women that have died serving our country just so that our country could be what it is continuously today, hopefully great, but not like it is right now, but great. And our country can have the freedoms, the rights, and we can still have what we want, but with the people having to serve, having to sacrifice their life and lay their life on the line for us. That is a big kind of one ups on our generation today, including for me. Now, I come from a very conservative background, history. I'm not going to go much into politics, but I had family that served in the military, and the ones that have served, I've always told them thank you for your service. And I will always hear them sometimes say, I didn't do much. I was just a engineer, a computer techie, or I was just a Air Force aircraft maintenance crew member. It doesn't matter. That is still serving our country. You're still doing something that is really, really honorable for our country. Ugh. It may seem like small potatoes to you, but to us, that is not small potatoes. That's pretty a big deal. Pardon the pun. That's a big deal for a lot of people because a lot of our generation today, again, are just all about playing video games and shoot 'em up games. That isn't what really war is like. Now, I can't give you an actual definition of what war is like because I've never been in that situation. I've never been placed into a war scenario. I've never gone through BT. I've never gone through what they have gone through. And trust me, what they go through is a long ass amount of hell just to be able to do what they can do and be certified to do what they do. I've talked to a lot of Marines. I've talked to a lot of Navy vets, Armies that have served in Korea, Vietnam, and even the Afghanistan War back in 1991. And their mentality is they were just doing their job and that was it. Okay, sure, that's a really humble way to hold themselves, but a job that could have possibly or potentially got them killed at any point in time because the enemy is not gonna back off, and it's not like a video game where you can pause it and the enemy's not gonna get you, but it's gonna be continuous every night and day. You gotta worry about these things. And the military, I feel like, don't get that respect as much as they deserve. And as much as I respect the military, fine, I don't agree with the wokeness today that's going on in our military at all. But still, you have served. You served our country. You did what you did, and that's honorable. Now, a lot of people I know probably I hate to say it, a bunch of nitwits out there are going to get on me about this and say, well, if you're so high and mighty about this, then why don't you serve? Because not everyone has the ability to serve, right? That takes a lot of skill. You have to be basically in good shape, good form, no medical issues, no issues at all, mentally or physically, in order to serve our country. And I'm not saying that I couldn't, I probably could if I really, really wanted to, but I just would like to take a moment and step back away from me for a minute and realize that these people that have served not only have put their life on the line, but got into parts of countries that really would mess them up mentally and emotionally, screw with them. And they go through it every day. And they live with it when they come back. Now, going back to why I probably wouldn't serve, because I don't think I would be able to handle that much stress. That type of stress to me would be something I would not be good at. I would probably be very horrible at it. I would be an emotional wreck. But going back to my point in general, I'm not here to try to give you a military speech. But what I'm trying to say is that I think we need to shake their hands, honor them, give them a salute. Yes, even if you are not a military, yes, there are certain guidelines as to, like, if you're in the military and you have another military officer that is higher rank, yes, you would salute them if you're in the military, but at least you don't have to, salute them. You could shake their hand. That's even simpler, if that just makes you feel any 10 times better. But I think we need to actually do that more. I think that people need to wake up to the reality that we have people out there that have died for our country, for what we believe in. Ugh. Whether you're a Republican, Democrat, Libertarian, Liberal, Independent, whatever, they died for what you have now, which is the right to believe in what you choose to believe in. That is, again, something that not a lot of our generations today could handle. Our generation can't even handle going probably like 5 seconds without having to check who talked smack on TikTok or social media about them, and who said what, and who's doing what in the social media world that we live in. Today's generation can't even do that. They can't even go 5 seconds without it, and that's pretty pathetic if you ask me. Now, I'm not saying that it's completely wrong that we have social media. That's somewhat okay, but I think social media has screwed us a little more, because back when you think of it, like I said back then, they didn't have that, and that's different. And when you become a military person, or you're in the military, you don't have much of those options to have these things. Right? Sometimes they come back and their family has grown up, or their wife left them. And it's sad, because this is what they're risking. Leaving their family to fight for us, for something that a lot of people nowadays, I feel like, are disrespecting our country. Our country's kind of become a joke to other countries, and especially to our own people that live here in America. Anyone that lives here in America. I feel like America kind of became a joke when we elected our current president. And the military people know that. I think a lot of them know that I've talked to say that, yeah, our current president and our current status that we have is a joke. Back in my day, and I would hear stories about this, that they would tell me some of the stories of what they went through. For example, not really, but, jumping out of airplanes, or D-Day, things like that they did. They didn't have much social media presence. They had radios, newspapers, and maybe black and white TV. That was about as much as they got back then. And you would hear about it either on the newspaper, or the TV, or the radio of what happened or what's going on over on the other side. And our military ways have changed a lot, but still it earns that respect, that dignity, that knowing that our country has been taken really good care of by the men and women fighting for us and have tried to fight for us. But their lives have been laid down and on the line because of them being able to do something that not many can do. And I'm not saying that our government is peaches and cream and that the military can be possibly or potentially be disrupted by wokeness and other things, but I think our military today is not the same as what it was once was way back when, where there were just men and women who served that were 18 and 19 years old, like I said, and they could have gone to high school, they could have gone to college, they could have done other things, but they chose to serve our country because they felt like that was their job. Holy shit, you gotta honestly say 100% that is respect. Hats off to them and a salute to them for that. Being that type of person. I know people that have served. Like I said, I've talked to a lot of them. And it hurts me to know people that served in Vietnam. I know Vietnam is going to have a wild amount of opinions to it. Some will say we don't need to be there. Others say it was okay that we were there and we should be there. That was where we needed to be at that time. But can you imagine coming home and being a Vietnam vet, having Agent Orange possibly or potentially poured on you, dumped on you, taking showers in Agent Orange barrels, coming home, having people throwing fecal matters at you, just throwing their piss at you. And that amount of disrespect shows that our country is really not up to date and par with the up and up of how we should treat our fellow military personnel. I know that military people have to go through a lot, and they have to go through hell to be able to do their job. But still, coming home, having piss and fecal matters thrown at you, potentially not knowing that you're going to die years later because of cancer from Agent Orange or a chemical that was sprayed on you that at that time they didn't even know that it was possibly or potentially going to kill their own people. But they were trying to do it to get to the enemy so that the enemies are able to be seen a little bit more easier. Now think about how that would suck. Now, I just sat here and told you a picture of an image of what you should imagine, and as I explain it to you, I imagined what that was like, and I could not say anything but one word, one thing to describe it: horrifying, scary as shit. So I ask you, please salute or shake a military person's hand and say thank you for their service. It doesn't matter, like I said, what they did. It matters that they served. It matters that a lot of men and women this past Memorial Weekend died for us. Go to their graves, honor them, put a flag by their grave, and say thank you. Even if you don't think that they're going to hear you, I'm sure they will know and they will hear you. And that they are very grateful for what you will have done for them. Take care of their grave. Clean their grave site. Talk to them. Ask them what you can do to help them feel better. There's a lot of ways you can help these people. Go out and do it. Love you guys. See you later.